What's up? It's your boy Luke P. Sanders, and I'm glad to be back. Well, it's kind of bittersweet to be back with part one of the Volume 3 finale, TV Takeover Part 1. So, for the people that don't know and don't follow me on social media, HTV is my network, my digital network that I have currently on YouTube. So, it's a YouTube channel. I'm open to doing an app in the future. You know what I mean? That would be cool. That really would be cool. But I just figured, being with my shows being placed on different platforms, I was like, why not make my own money? You know what I mean? And because I don't want to do a YouTube channel, and I don't knock the people that do, but I'm more of a series type of person. Because with a series, you got a premiere and a finale. With a YouTube channel, you doing stuff like all the time, around the clock. You're around month to month. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. So for me, doing series, there's a start and there's an end. So I just do series. So I have 4 shows on there: web series, digital series, limited series, and a special. So yeah, check that out. And as of yesterday, all of Looks Like Chronicles, all 3 seasons so far, and all episodes of Looks Like Chronicles is on HTV, so you can go check that out. And the longest running series this year will be Recreational Hour, which is crazy. As of right now, Recreation Hour is my longest running show. And my most watched series is Recreation Hour on the network, which I did because I'm trying to remember the timeline. At some point, Lucas Chronicles was my staple show, my staple series. So that's what people knew me from the most, and it was just my most successful show. And at the time, we had did more seasons than Recreation Hour. So yeah, I was just like, man. So for Recreation Hour to be the first show, the first series, because actually the first thing that aired on HTV was my 2-part special. And then directly after was Recreation Hour Season 1. So for Recreation Hour to come out and be the most watched show on my network, I was like, yeah, I like Recreation Hour like that. I just knew Looks Like Chronicles would do what it did before. But Recreation Hour is actually outdoing what Looks Like Chronicles did. And I don't know if it's because Looks Like Chronicles has so much exposure and people already know, and Recreation Hour might be kind of new to them. Because I really only did Recreation Hour for like a year. Because it literally aired. It premiered in 2016, in fall 2016, and then the second season premiered in June of 2017. So that's like a year. That's less than a year. And then in 2018 we did a finale. So then when we came back this year was, we got rebooted, or I rebooted the show for a 3rd or 4th season. I was very shocked that people gravitated to it, you know what I mean? But this is also a show that hadn't been on another network, and it hadn't been, so I don't think a lot of people had seen it. And then the people who are now following me and stuff like that, they definitely didn't know about it. So it could have been that. Because it Looks Like Chronicles, I'm an adult, full adult. And the Recreation Hour at that point, except for the finale, half of the finale, right? Yeah, half of the finale. So basically the whole show, I was a teenager. You know what I mean? Going into... Oh, no, that's not true. That's not true, because you see my 18th birthday on the 2nd season. But starting the show, I was a teenager. So I think people just probably didn't see that side of me. So they were probably excited. I don't know if it's... I'm not trying to blow my head up, but there's probably something different for people to see for me being a teenager. Especially in the first volume. I think I definitely like the second volume better, because I think it was just more going on. But the second volume, second season, I'm sorry. But the first season, from my recollection, if I can remember correctly, it was just more adventurous. I know I did a Thanksgiving episode, a Christmas episode. You saw me at family members' birthday parties, which I'm grateful for, because that one of my family members are deceased, so I'm grateful that that's on there. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, for one, that was 7 years ago, and at the time, I was just taking, because at the time it was kind of like a, how you say, it was just footage from my phone, honestly. So I didn't know when I was filming the show that I was going to be doing a show. I was just taking, footage to have memories of and stuff like that and capture the moment. So yeah, the footage actually shows me at age 16, but I started the show at age 17. So that was really cool. I was like, oh, okay. So I had a whole show. I didn't even know I had a show. So that was cool. And then fast forward to the second season, you literally saw me pretty much, like, you saw me you didn't see me, but I have footage of me at graduation rehearsal, and then a picture of me getting dressed for graduation, and then trying to remember, and then me at my graduation dinner, and then me at my open house, and then me at my 18th birthday, and then me and my first college orientation. So it was a lot of firsts, you know. It's really, really, really cool to have those moments captured and to be able to go back and look and be able to go back and remember. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. I can have this for my kids, you know what I mean? So that's really, really cool to me. But yeah, I titled my digital network HTV because starting out in my career at age 16, you know, I've been singing pretty much my whole life, basically since elementary to middle to high school. So I have been singing, but I didn't get any notoriety, you can say, until age 16. I remember, I'm going to touch on this briefly because I know people like you talk about this all the time, or at least being in these choirs. But I remember being in my gospel choir my second year in a row, and that second semester, at the top of it, in January, we were performing at the Madam C.J. Walker building in front of the mayor, honoring Dr. Martin Luther King and honoring a huge radio legend who had just passed. And there were a lot of media outlets there who knew that they were going to put us in Indy Star newspaper. So that was really cool. So that was that same year. So then fast forward 9 months later, I started my own show. So still at age, no, that was 16, yeah. But still in 2016, that's when my career really had started. And then Recreation Hour was the first thing that I had done on my own without a company or a choir or anything like that. So 2016 was my year I got started in entertainment, which is really, really cool to me. But yeah, I titled my digital network HTV because starting out in my career at age 16 with Recreational Hour, or starting out my career at age 16, when I say with Recreational Hour, I mean footage from when I was 16, but you know what I mean. People didn't want to work with me because of my age, or I was the youngest person doing something, or the youngest person in the show or meeting or whatever, you know, it was. I want to inspire young entertainers that they can work I want to inspire young entertainers that they can work at a young age. Because, yeah, I remember talking to people and trying to get my, because before Recreation, I had a show. And if people really follow, it's probably people from high school, but if you really follow me, Recreational Hour was actually called the Reaction Series. Because I wanted to do a whole bunch of reactions, but I was like, okay, that's really not like a show. It's really just a YouTube channel. So I was like, let me change this. And I remember doing research for Recreation Hour to see if anybody had the name. And I was like, I couldn't think of a title, but I was like, okay, it is Recreation. I'm like, okay, it is recreational. You know, it is fun. And I was like, okay, let's call it Recreational Hour. Looking back, I might have titled it something different because that's a long title. And then whenever you search Recreational Hour, you get a whole bunch of gems and a whole bunch of recreational stuff. So I'm like, oh, Lord. But I didn't have a brand new marketing team. I still don't. But anyway, I do still love my show, Recreational Hour. It's my baby. It's my first show. But, yeah. I did it HTV because, you know. And the funny thing is, I had came up with this name HTV. Like, I was thinking about doing a network for a while. For years. But in 2022, I was like, why not do my own network? You know what I mean? And I do wish I would have planned it a little bit differently. But as far as, because I wouldn't have had to work as hard if I had, because this year I'm trying to, even though in September I will have aired something every week consecutively. But this year I was like, okay, I at least need 1 year to where I aired something every week of this year. So if I would have came out with the show later, you know, I could have done that without having to do more shows, you know what I mean, and to create new episodes. But I'm like, that's fine. It is what it is. But yeah, Recreational Hour in HTV. So yes, this was TV Takeover Part One, which is the first part of our Volume 3 premiere. So make sure you come back. Oh yeah, make sure you come back to, I was about to say next week. This is the final week of the final week of Family Talk Volume 3 airing. So make sure you listen to the next episode, HTV Takeover Part 2. And make sure you follow me at Luke Sanders and Family Talk on, I think it's Family Talk on Hip Podcast, on Facebook.